Good evening and welcome to Ascension St. Vincent Stadium. I'm Harrison Silcox, Rick Johnston alongside me up here in the press box for some NAIA women's lacrosse. We've got Marian hosting the number 7 team in the country, Missouri Baptist. And Rick, let's just jump right into this one. You look at a team like Missouri Baptist, they're national runners-up last year, lost a lot of talent in the top end statistically of that team, but they come into this one looking to continue a 3-game winning streak. On the other side, Marian coming off a loss to Cumberland's in what's a tough non-conference schedule. What do the Knights need to do in a quick early preview to possibly get a win in this one?
You know, the big thing for Marian coming in, Harrison, I think it's got to be the draw control. Through the first 2 games of the year, the Knights have barely won 29% of the draws of the first 2 games. Obviously, they beat Georgetown 18-5. You lose the number 2 University of Cumberland's last time out. And the other thing is transition. A lot of those are the 2 big things when we talked to Allie Stork-Steed, the head coach, last night. And if you're Missouri Baptist, you graduated 3 of your top 4 scorers. You graduated 4 All-Americans from last year's team, including the top 2 point producers in school history. But you bring back one of the top players in the entire country in junior Delaney Pechnick, who's a second-team All-Conference pick a year ago. She just happens to have scored 16 goals in her first 3 games of the year for Max Rule, the 6th-year head coach you can see on your screen right there. So what looked to be maybe a rebuilding year for the Spartans, they've jumped right into this thing and have impressed here right out of the gate.
Absolutely. They are 3-0 in the year, as mentioned before. Also national runners-up, a high-flying offense, and a stout defense. Marian will try to put them to the test today. Do not go anywhere. We've got the first quarter coming up for you in a couple of minutes on the ISC Sports Network.
Does your school offer high-quality education? Does it offer virtual or hybrid options? Marian University Preparatory School educates students in a safe, faith-based environment focused on college and career exploration. Here at Marian University Preparatory School, we empower parents and help students to master what they love and learn as they live. We are now enrolling students in grades 6 through 9 this fall. Full financial aid packages are still available. Act now to make MU Prep your school for 2022.
This is Paul. He loves running, music, and DIY home projects. In fact, he's remodeling his kitchen thanks to a home equity line of credit from Indiana Members Credit Union. They connected him with a loan officer, got him approved at a great low rate, and made it easy for him to make his monthly payment from anywhere thanks to IMCU's digital banking. Looks like Paul can do it all with a little help from IMCU.
Pepsi's always had great taste. Today, try great taste with 0 sugar. This is the Pepsi with 0 compromises. This is Pepsi 0 Sugar.
We jumped in immediately. We take an intro to engineering course.
And they sit there and tell you, we're not going to push you through every single prereq your first 2 years. We're going to let you get hands-on work with engineering right away because 2 years of a prereq, that's boring.
This is Molly. She loves hiking, her dog Max, and cars that fit her lifestyle, like this cool new ride that she got with help from Indiana Members Credit Union at a great low rate. Looks like Molly is really getting the max from her credit union. This is Paul. He loves running, music, and DIY home projects. In fact, he's remodeling his kitchen thanks to a great low rate on a home equity line of credit from Indiana Members Credit Union. Looks like Paul can do it all with a little help from IMCU.
Merchants Bank is a unique bank. As rates move up and down, our rates are always at the top.
Great. Let's go.
Our team has a proven track record as one of the nation's top performing banks.
Now, that's a top performer.
What you see is what you get. A 4.00 APY money market without gimmicks or hidden fees.
Let's leapfrog him. Hop to it. Merchants Bank, where your money is safe, secure, and earning more. Hop on over.
There's something that may surprise you about Marian University. It's not our Catholic faith or our Franciscan values. It's not our 5,000 students or our diversity. It's not Marian's championship athletics or our Indianapolis location. It's that Marian is home to Indiana's only college of osteopathic medicine. Marian, Indy's Catholic University.
This is Molly. She loves road trips, hikes, her dog Max, and cars that fit her lifestyle, like this cool new ride that she got with help from Indiana Members Credit Union at a great low rate. And for when she's on the go, IMCU makes it easy for her to pay from anywhere thanks to their digital banking. Looks like Molly is really getting the max from her credit union.
This is the Pepsi for America's best barbecue. Worthy of 100-mile detours and 1,000 likes. Looks good. This is the Pepsi for mopping, dipping, and dousing. Whatever you're craving, this is the Pepsi for you. This is the Pepsi for serious fans and serious eats. This is the Pepsi for Sundays at the ballpark and days off at your favorite pizza joint. Right, Aaron?
Best slice in New York.
Whatever you're craving, this is the Pepsi for you.
This is Paul. He loves running, music, and DIY home projects. In fact, he's remodeling his kitchen thanks to a great low rate on a home equity line of credit from Indiana Members Credit Union. Looks like Paul can do it all with a little help from IMCU. This is Paul. He loves running, music, and DIY home projects. In fact, he's remodeling his kitchen thanks to a great low rate on a home equity line of credit from Indiana Members Credit Union. Looks like Paul can do it all with a little help from IMCU.
And welcome back on ISC Sports Network here. The Marian Knights taking on the Missouri Baptist Spartans. Just about underway. Starting lineups have been announced. Again, I'm Harrison Silcox, Rick Johnston up here to my left. Rick, a player that is always worth highlighting when the Knights are in action is Ella Grace Geed. She's got over 200 career points. She is 1 point shy of breaking the program record. So tonight could be the night. Obviously, you never know until you actually see it with the unpredictability of sports. But when we talk to her head coach, Allie Stork-Sneed, just compliment after compliment with what Ella Grace has meant for her, meant for this program, and just the type of player that she's been a coach.
Yeah, and a young lady that can score whenever she wants. We've seen her score in bunches, including in clutch times throughout her entire career here for Marian. But I thought the thing that spoke most to what Geed has given to the Marian program is Allie Stork-Sneed told us last night. She goes, there's nobody better to wear Marian across the front of her jersey than Ella Grace Geed. And as you mentioned, a point away from being the all-time points leader in Marian history. She's coming off of probably a quiet game from her standards, just a goal and an assist against number 2 Cumberland's just a couple of days ago last Saturday in that 19-4 setback. So she'll be a big key today, but again, the problem with that is she's on the attack. If you don't win those draws, you can't get Geed the ball, and that's what you need to do. And that's maybe what slowed them down because Cumberland's, the Patriots, they dominated things here at the draw control just a couple days ago.
Well, it's Ruby Mason at midfield for the Knights. Speaking of draw control, she had 58 of them last year. Delaney Petchnick is who leads the Spartans in that category with 22 on the season. She had just 50 last season, so in 3 games for her, she's halfway to the mark that she had a year ago. As the Spartans did lose their top draw control specialist from a year ago, but Petchnick getting the opening possession here for the visitors in quarter number 1.
Yeah, Petchnick 7 in blue has been the key to this 3-0 start here for Missouri Baptist. We talked about all of the talent offensively graduating for the Spartans. They made the national tournament for the 3rd year in a row, and he put Petchnick into a bigger role this year. Last year she did pretty good, was a second-team all-conference pick as a sophomore, but even bigger right now, trying to score early.
There she is on the crease and does indeed score early. Missouri Baptist getting on the board first, and they do it through their top player on offense and probably their whole roster, Delaney Petchnick. She's got 17 goals on the year.
What I think makes Petchnick so dangerous, Harrison, is you look at her total shots, 27. She's now put 22 of them on frame. And look at this cut right here. Nice roll dodge. She goes low to low, able to beat Anaya Jones stick side, the transfer in from Delaware State. And Petchnick scoring early. 2nd game in a row here. We saw last week at Cumberland's, the Patriots scored on the opening draw less than 30 seconds in against Marian. Here, the Spartan strike less than 30 seconds in here in the home opener.
Yeah, through all sorts of traffic as well. So we'll see how the Knights respond after giving up an early goal. I mentioned head coaches for both teams in the pregame. If you didn't quite catch it, Max Rule is who's in charge of the sideline for Missouri Baptist. Allie Stork-Sneed, the head coach for the Marian Knights, who spoke to us and said that the transition game in this one, including the draw controls, and that is going to be hugely important. You've touched on it plenty, Rick. And here a break for the Knights as Missouri Baptist turns it over after initially winning the draw control.
Yeah, not what Missouri Baptist wants right there. And again, that pressure defense, it wasn't there in the half field like we've normally seen here for Marian, but the Knights have got to make this offensive opportunity click, particularly with their circles, as we mentioned, inside the circle, the draw control. And you got to get your top players going, so look for them to get 24 the ball. That's Ella Grace Geed. So you're cutting there on the left side of your screen.
So first time into their attacking zone is Marian here. First shots, it is on target, thrown on cage from Delaney Colas. But a good save there made by Rachel Livick. So first save and the first time Livick has been tested this evening, and she steps up to the task. Now the all-important transition game as Missouri Baptist will try to clear. So Schnefke through some traffic and gets the job done there as well. The Knights put on some light pressure, so once again, Marian going to be tested defensively. McMillan skips it out to the far side.
This is the team, Harrison, and Missouri Baptist has scored at least 20 goals in their last 2 games. They come in averaging 19 per ball game. They put up 13 in their closest win of the season to start things off against Quincy, a 13-10 victory. But a lot of things are going to run through Pechnik, obviously so. Second-team all-conference pick from a season ago, and you saw her scoring talent early on here. She operates from the top.
Second highest scoring offense in the nation here in this young season. Second best defense as well on a goals allowed per game basis. 20 on the shot clock here. Spartans looking to build on an early lead. The feed inside cannot be hauled on, and the ground ball goes to Marian.
Really good defense there from the Knights, and we've talked about it in the past. They kind of have that hybrid zone defense where it looks like they're kind of leaving some shooting lanes open or maybe some cutting lanes for their opponent, but their speed on the bottom side of that zone defense where they're able to collapse and take those open looks away. Saw a great example of it right there.
A bit of trouble after the clear was completed. Cecil, though, able to get the ground ball right back. And so the Knights continuing to trail by 1, have their second possession on offense here. This is Ella Grace Geed with the ball. Things spread out for now.
This is something I noticed on film this week, Harrison, is that those cutters, you can see cutting right through there with Ruby Mason. That's one of the things where it's been a little bit of an Achilles heel for Missouri Baptist. I know it's hard to nitpick for a 3-0 team that's been so dominant through the early part of the season, but those cutters can kind of be a little bit of a step back for the Spartans. So we'll see if Marian can exploit that here today.
Ruby Mason in the free position. So it starts with the cut. That's what led to the free position granted from the official. As you mentioned, Rick, the ability to get open off cuts exploited there in that possession leads to the free position look where Marian converts about 43% of the time. And Ruby gets the first goal of the day for Marian, ties this thing up at 1 apiece.
Really like the goal there for the senior attacker, Mason, first team all-WLAC pick a year ago. And then watch her start right here on the free position. Just goes high to low, uses the earth, able to go off stick side there to Livac. And we're tied up at 1 here early.
11:30 left in the first quarter. Marian trying to bounce back from that loss to Cumberland's that you've referenced a few times, Rick, 19-4. It's interesting talking with Coach Stork Sneed about that, just saying, like, when you play those top teams in the country, you learn a lot more than when you play in some of these blowout games against opponents that aren't quite as tough. So let's see how the lessons learned in that loss carry over to this one against another ranked opponent.
Well, it doesn't get any easier. Next week, coming in here a week from tonight, the defending and reigning national champions, Benedictine, will come here to the west side of Indy.
A tough non-conference schedule for Marian. Playing out of the WAC, and the WAC a tough conference historically as well when you look at some of the teams who've been on top there. Indiana Tech, Lawrence Tech, two that come to mind. Indiana Tech was who ended Marian's season a year ago. There's a shot on target, a great save made by Ania Jones.
Morrissey coming right down Main Street there. Did not like the shot position there. She went stick side off the hip, and Jones able to smother that one up.
This ground ball still up for grabs. Ball is kept in play on the far side of the field. Women's lacrosse dimensions not quite the same as the football field, so that plays tricks on you. There's a thin white line that runs along the exterior of this turf field. That ball was kept in play. Marian comes away with ground ball. So the hustle paying off for the Knights. They get the ball back and a chance to get their first lead of the game. Bozeman has the ball right here, but turns it over. Maybe no, it will be kept in play along the end line. And now whistle from the official, a shove from Vanessa Robertson.
You watch it right here. Robertson just pops the talented freshman O'Leary right there in the forearm.
And O'Leary waits for official signal to get this one going again. And this, Rick, I think we might have a card coming out here.
Yeah, you can see Robertson jogging off.
Yeah,
so it will be a green card here just for the too physical play on that cross check. And it was pretty easy to see. You saw Robertson's hands pretty far apart there on the stick. Went right across the bicep of O'Leary, and that's an easy green card. Their first one of the day here for either side.
The player up advantage for the next minute of action. O'Leary has the ball back behind the cage. Ella Gray skied and rotates it further up high. Shot here, going upstairs for the goal is Bozeman. Nearly had a turnover to start the possession. Ends it with a tally. Marian goes up 2-1.
First one of the year for the junior Bozeman, and just nobody comes to stop her from Missouri Baptist. She goes high to high, and that's two different ways to score here for Marian. Good to see the Knights trying to vary up the shots here against Livac, and Bozeman able to strike here early in the Knights. Take that one goal advantage. That was, again, we talked about cutters. Usually you think it's an off-ball cut with someone feeding it to you. This time Bozeman just turns on the Jets and runs right by the entire Missouri Baptist defense.
Mason and Pechnik back at midfield for this next draw. Pechnik getting the better of Mason so far and this one. Again, very early stages of this game and what we expect to be, and has so far been a close one. As Marian in the latest NAIA poll is receiving votes despite not being ranked. It's another draw control that goes in favor of the visitors. They have the ball once again. Early offense, but we haven't seen much since. Pechnik works inside, gets a shot off. Great save made by, that's Jones. And now in the long outlet, this ball's not going to be kept in play. It's going to turn into a turnover. Marian's clearing at about 54%. So far this season. That goes down as a failed clear in the box score. Goert back with the ball. Faces some pressure before pushing it back behind the cage.
Tough break there for Anaya Jones. The netminder just made a great save on Pechnik, but then throws it away. Turnovers have been an issue for Marian through the first two games of the year. They're averaging over 20 through the first two.
Now Pechnik will run the offense from up top, trying to find a cutter inside. Looked for one who ran into some traffic. We get a whistle that's going to go against the Knights. Marissa Oldham was the intended target on the inside. She's going to get a look at a free position.
And that happened inside of the 8-meter area, so that's where you see the free position right there on top here for Oldham.
And Oldham shoots. That's wide left. Both teams right at 43% from the 8-meter fan. So far this season. That time, though, Missouri Baptist unable to capitalize. They still have the ball. Plenty of time in the shot clock as well to get something out of this possession. Pechnik trying to pull the strings on offense and draws another whistle.
There's a delayed flag in the air from our officiating crew because Missouri Baptist did have an advantage going offensively. 8-meter here for Pechnik, or free position here for Pechnik from the 8-meter.
She runs inside, shoots. This time goes low. It goes through. She rolled into the crease after the shot. Officials say no goal.
Yeah, tough one there for Pechnik. Was going full steam down the left side of the field. As you can see the replay right here. She holds it as long as she can, but then ends up in the crease. And they will give her the good goal. I think initially they saw Pechnik land in the crease. They waved it off, but you saw there on the replay. Great job by our crew. You can see the ball cross the goal line, bounce into the back of the net, and then Pechnik fell into the crease, so she gets her second one of the day.
7:39 left to play in the first quarter. Good job from the officiating crew to talk that one through. And it is in the favor of the Spartans, who tie this one up at 2 apiece. Second time we've been tied here in the first quarter. Back to the draw circle we go. And a tough break there for the Knights, Rick, on that possession. Started with a great save made by Anaya Jones. A turnover, though, immediately after on the outlet pass. And Missouri Baptist makes him pay.
And he really thought the Knights had a great opportunity there. Pechnik held onto that ball much longer. You normally see players, when they even get an idea of feeling the defense collapsing on them with those free position shots, they're either shooting it or getting rid of it. There, Pechnik held onto it as long as she could and had a little bit of a face dodge to kind of bring it back to her left and then dunked it home. She held onto that thing for so long. I think it caught the Knights maybe a little bit off guard, potentially, but a tough break there, like you mentioned there for Marian. But they've stood toe-to-toe here with Missouri Baptist, and like we talked about, they stood up. They saw them score less than 30 seconds into this one. Same thing happened last week. They got down 2-0 early, and then they held Cumberland scoreless for the final 10 minutes of the opening quarter. So the Knights defense can stand up with the top teams in the country. They got to try to get their offense going. That was something they just could not do last week against Cumberland's.
So they get the draw control here, trying to retake the lead. This is Ella Grace Geed with it, a player who you want to have the ball. As a pick tries to free her up. Great find inside, but a better save made by Levac. She comes away with the ground ball, finds the nice outlet to Robertson. Has to run away from some pressure here. Doesn't quite have the speed, but is able to maneuver her way up the sideline. Good defensive stand there from the Spartans. Now a chance for them to retake the lead. And they turn it over immediately as Alexis Taylor tried to skip it to the left side of the field.
She was looking for Oldham. I like the idea there because Oldham's coming in with some room to work, coming in towards the 12-meter fan right there. Just threw it behind her. Just a little bit off target there from Missouri Baptist. I like the catch on the other end for Alex Dean of Marian. She caught it in traffic. But like you mentioned there, Harrison, Levac with us an incredible save. She's able, after that rocky start, she's been able to turn a couple away here that have been more than what you normally expect from an easy shot.
So this time around, Knights on the clear. Ella Grace Geed gets the job done. Still faces a little bit of pressure before she's completely in the clear. As you see, the importance of transition starting to show itself a little bit. We've seen a couple of turnovers from either team when they work from defense to offense. Makes for an exciting back-and-forth watch, but now here at a more settled situation, Marian with the ball, tied at 2 apiece. 5.5 left to play in quarter number 1. Harrison Silcox, Rick Johnston with you here in the ISC Sports Network. Mason working from X. Trying to look inside. It's covered up well by Missouri Baptist, so here's Ella Grace Geed with the ball.
And how about Missouri Baptist putting freshman Camino Royal on Geed, who lets one go there. But not an easy task for the youngster from Manchester, Missouri, but Royal doing a good job to keep Geed's touches to a minimum here in the first quarter.
And so Missouri Baptist back on the clear once again. Another possession that ends for them with a saved shot. And now a turnover. Ball just in and out of the stick of a Spartan. And now a transition opportunity the other direction.
Yeah, it was Mason who got the steal on the other end, and then tip your cap to Haley Schnefke right there. It looked like Marian was going to have numbers. Schnefke came in, jarred the ball free from O'Leary, and that forces Marian to stomp on the brakes here and slow things down.
4 minutes, 20 seconds left in quarter number 1. Low-scoring game between these two teams. And patience here on offense once more for Marian, as Sissel just hangs out with the ball on the near side. Now they'll work into their set. 45 left on the possession. Alex Dean trying to win her matchup. Now a good pass inside. As we got a player who hits the deck, that's Sissel, who was knocked down to the turf. Knights will keep the ball. No whistle from the official. Montez. Now back to Ella Grace Geed. A quiet opening quarter so far for her. Trying to change that in a good feed inside. Pass cannot be completed, and this ball is going to be kept in play. That's great hustle from Colas. 15 left here on the possession. Montez shoots on the run. Another save by Livac. Possession will be kept on this side. More importantly, though, for the Knights, a fresh shot clock.
You can see Livac going low there, anticipating the bounce shot from Montez on the run. I would not be surprised to see the Knights come back at that again, but try to go high to high. They already scored going to the top shelf earlier. If you see Livac already guessing that you're going to go high to low, put one there right above her shoulder to find the back of the net.
Shot placement ever important in the game of lacrosse. As O'Leary has it and trying to work the crease inside, does so successfully. Officials say good goal. And the stick of O'Leary getting her second goal of the season gives Marian the lead right back.
Individual effort here from O'Leary, goes to the switch hand, able to tap dance her way around the crease. Does another wonderful split dodge, goes right to the left, and then goes cross-handed up and over Livac. Incredible effort from a very talented freshman in O'Leary, somebody that her head coach, Allie Stork-Sneed, said, keep your eyes on 19 in white. She has got a bright, bright future here for the Knights.
Yeah, just another player and a pretty long line of quality offensive players that Marian has had. And, I mean, who knows? I don't want to say that she's going to be as good as Ella Grace Geed, but, you know, talent graduates in college, so you got to keep the machine moving. And the freshman out of Carmel is somebody that Allie Stork-Sneed hopes to be a contributor at a high level for a long time on this team in the early days of her college career.
Well, it's a similar thing. You look on the other side to Missouri Baptist, right? You score just superstar players in in the third-team All-American Olivia Julian, the all-time leading scorer in Lydia Cornett. You also graduate other top players as well, 4 All-Americans from last year, and then they just throw Delaney Pechnick. She starts getting more shots, and she already has got 18 goals with 2 today. So you have a case right in front of you here with O'Leary, where she can step in once she learns under the tutelage of Geed and the Deans and Mason and the rest of this elder stateswoman crew from Marian, and then she gets the keys to the car and she can just mash the accelerator and go.
That is the hope. Right now, though, it is the Knights defense that is being tested as Missouri Baptist gets another draw control, but unable to capitalize on the possession. Hartman with a gritty ground ball puts the Knights back on the clear.
And that all starts with that Knights defense. We talked about how stingy it can be. It can throw these opponents for a loop, because we mentioned it's that hybrid zone. They'll kind of lull you into thinking you might have an open driving lane or a shooting lane, and then that speed, particularly from their folks on the back end of that zone near goal line extended, just collapse on you out of nowhere, and then you thought you were wide open, and next you got 3 Knights around you making life difficult.
Another turnover, though, in transition, has the ball back with Robertson. As Missouri Baptist will try to tie this one back up again. Pechnick has both of their goals and the ball once again as she tries to orchestrate another successful possession on offense. 80 seconds left to play in the first quarter. Pechnick pressured here on the matchup with Jada Taylor.
Taylor, the former midfielder, switching to a defender role this year, and she's got some speed to try to keep up step for step with Pechnick.
You see the amount of attention that Pechnick demands on offense as the ball gets rotated further around, and Morrissey flipped back behind the cage. Terrell with it now. Looking for a cutter inside, stick deflects the ball down on the turf. Colas coming away with the ground ball, or rather Kircher.
Good defense there for the Knights, getting your stick in the passing lane. And now Marian with an opportunity to try to add to this lead here in the final seconds of the opening quarter.
A little bit of work left to do on the clear as Olivia Dean had flipped it to Ella Grace Geed, but whistle from the official will push things back to Dean as the clock continues to run. Knights running out of time here in the quarter. They could just hang on to the ball if they wanted. Get it right back in the second. And it looks like that may be exactly what they think. Missouri Baptist going to try and do something about that, though, and apply some pressures. Ella Grace Geed is just trying to hang on a possession for another 6 seconds here. And she'll be able to do exactly that. 1 quarter in the books. The number 7 team in the country down by a goal. We've got the second quarter coming up after this, the ISC Sports Network.
At the end of the first quarter, your Knights lead 3-2 over Missouri Baptist.
This is Molly. She loves road trips, hikes, her dog Max, and cars that fit her lifestyle, like this cool new ride that she got with help from Indiana Members Credit Union at a great low rate. And for when she's on the go, IMCU makes it easy for her to pay from anywhere thanks to their digital banking. Looks like Molly is really getting the max from her credit union.
Hey, grab me one too.
Back to Ascension St. Vincent Field. That is the huddle of the team who is currently in the lead. The Marian Knights lead at 3-2. Broadcast this evening brought to you by AAA Roofing. When it rains, it pours, so trust the pros at AAA Roofing. That's who we call. Special thanks to AAA Roofing for their support of Marian Athletics. Also Ascension St. Vincent. Marian University is proud to partner with Ascension St. Vincent, the game day sponsor for Marian University Athletics. And then Back 9. Back 9 Golf and Entertainment is Indy's premier golf experience, located in downtown Indianapolis, and they are proud to partner with Marian University. Marian students get special discounts every Wednesday. To reserve your experience, visit back9golf.com. Harrison Silcox and Rick Johnston with you here from the press box. AAA Roofing, it's been rainy all week long. I'm sure their phone lines have been buzzing a little bit more this week. Thought we were going to get some rain during the actual game today, Rick. I'm just tracking the forecast throughout the week. Knock on wood, but some of that rain has cleared up. But still, as you look for frantically wood up here in the press box to knock on.
I found some, thankfully.
But still wet conditions from just the amount of rain that we've gotten this week. That is more than likely, if it hasn't already, going to have somewhat of an impact on this game.
Yeah, you see the 8 turnovers combined, 6 of them for Missouri Baptist, but the only 2 for Marian have been those off-target passes. And when we talked with Allie Stork-Snead, she said and it's going to be incredibly important, more so because you're going to have to make sure that, again, with the shallower pockets in the women's game, and the ball, though, if it can get wet, which this turf field can hold a little bit more moisture, even though we haven't had a lot of rain the last 2 days. We got a ton earlier in the week. But if you don't have the opening part of your cross perfectly placed right where you want to throw the ball, that thing could go anywhere and you have no idea. So we've seen that happen a couple of times, particularly from Marian. If the problem for Missouri Baptist with their 6 giveaways is they've thrown the thing into traffic, and that collapsing defense for the Knights, you just put your stick out there, deflected, they scooped up, used their speed to take it to the other end.
And Schnefke did just that. From one end to the other, getting the clear done on her own. With 60 seconds left to work with on the possessions, Marian, after hanging on to the ball at the end of the first quarter to keep it in the second, had it turned over. And this is Johannes Ward. Surveys the field from up top before pushing it over in the direction of Petchnik. Missouri Baptist has not lost to Marian since 2019. Slight edge goes to them in the series between these two programs. 3-2 all time against the Knights. Down to 22 seconds left on the shot clock. As Oldham tries to find a way inside, Cutter is open, shot. Do not believe it got through. And we get a yellow card as well. I think this might be a shooting space issue that goes against Missouri Baptist.
Yeah, a lot of traffic there inside the critical scoring area.
It's going to be Skylar Morrissey, who's got 10 points on the season coming into this one, who's given the yellow card. So for the second time today, Missouri Baptist to go a player down. First one was a green card, but that is a yellow on Morrissey. So her first. And now we get a push from behind as Olivia Dean knocked to the turf. She was a game-time decision today. Weren't sure if we were going to see her suit up for the Knights. Takes a tough hit there, gets right back up on her feet.
They'll get the full reset back to 90 here, you know. Again, the sophomore Dean, the defensive player of the year last year in the conference, and the newcomer of the year. First player in Marian history to ever win the conference defensive player of the year award. So if you had any chance that she could play today, the Knights knew they needed her out here. And today, they've gotten more than I think they expected.
Absolutely. She's going to be an important player defensively for this team all year long. You mentioned the accolades, Rick, so obviously an added bonus when you can get her on the field when she's questionable entering the game. The Knights certainly happy about that as we get a stoppage in play here. As the clock continues to tick with 12:45 left to go in the quarter. The result, I believe, is going to be Montez. And a free position look, already leading by a goal. Marian a chance to stretch the advantage on the scoreboard. Montez will shoot, and that is a save made by Livac. Quick on the outlet as well. She finds Robertson.
Yeah, Robertson was the guilty party there. She was too far away from her defender for more than 3 seconds. She wasn't within a stick length and arm length of her defender for more than 3 seconds. That's what she was trying to argue her case for. They put her behind the free position shooter in Montez, but another impressive save there from Livac from close range.
And Livac seen the ball very well so far in the first half of this contest. If you get goaltending, you've always got a chance. As this ball rolls across midfield, more issues in transition. Marian needing to come away with it, and they'll do just that. Ruby Mason able to vie for positioning, and a tough ground ball through some contact, and then shovels it over to Ella Gray-Skeed. Back with the ball, and a whole bunch of time on the shot clock are the Knights.
Yeah, Sheffney got called for the push there. That's why the Knights get the full reset back to 90. And with a team in Marian that's so good offensive, brings so much experience back, a full 90, that's not something if you want to see if you're Missouri Baptist. But then you just have Livac back there standing on her head.
Absolutely. Last line of defense shuts down Alex Dean on the doorstep. A turnover now, though, as another player knocked to the turf. This is going to be a push that's called on Missouri Baptist. And we've got a Knight who is shaken up a bit on the play. Delaney Colas who is a little bit shaken up. Obviously, you see her favoring that left shoulder, not of approval to her teammates, who I'm sure are asking if she's all right, but she's going to have to jog to the sideline and potentially be checked out by the medical staff. Jahines Ward, in the meantime, given a yellow card as you see a replay of what happened.
Yeah, Ward comes in and just another cross-check there, puts Colas right onto the turf. She landed square on that left shoulder. She comes off to the bench here. Looks like she's trying to convince her way to stay into the game, but talking things over with the athletic trainer. But another opportunity here for the Knights to go woman up for at least a minute or two on this yellow card.
An important moment in this game. No teams led by more than one thus far. It's been low scoring, so a 2-goal advantage would provide plenty of momentum. As Talia Newell just steps out on the free position. And a tough break there for the Knights as the ball just falls right out of O'Leary's stick. Emily Gowert there to grab the ground ball. She's going to be pressured on the far corner, and that is not the way you want to run a possession once you go woman up.
Particularly for an extended period of time here on the yellow card. There's a smart position from Newell just to back that thing out. You knew time was your friend, but an untimely turnover here for Marian. And now the Spartans with an opportunity, but they give it right away. Great coverage there from Newell to make up for the mistake.
Yeah, you had Royal just rolling back right into pressure. Newell is there to help force the turnover. Look in transition, not going to get a chance to shoot. So great recovery defense from Missouri Baptist as we get a whistle that does indeed stop play once again. It's going to be another call against the Spartans and result in yet another free position look coming up for the Knights. Talia Newell from the 8-meter last time she backed out of it. We'll see if she elects to shoot this time around. And this time she passes inside. Catch. Oh, my goodness. Thought it was going to be a score. It rings off the post. Ruby Mason denied by the frame of the goal. And Missouri Baptist gets the ball right back and can breathe another sigh of relief, only temporarily, though, as Montez knocks the ball free. Fed down onto the crease, in and out of the stick the ball goes of O'Leary's cross. Back down on the turf, and another whistle as the physicality in this game continues to ramp up.
Another free position opportunity here. It'll be O'Leary to take it. She got knocked down to the turf. And we'll see if they put the guilty party. It was Robertson again. It's a high stick there. We'll see if O'Leary can capitalize.
That's good angle as well with a left-handed shot. Livac with another denial. What a stand defensively here in these moments for Missouri Baptist. Now they just need to get the ball successfully from defense to offense. And another stick and another passing lane. That's Olivia Dean forcing the turnover. Ella Gray skied back with the ball. And back on offense are the Knights. You have to imagine this Spartan defense is absolutely gassed. Montez once more back to even strength as a yellow card expires as you see Jahines Ward entering your picture just a few seconds ago. And so here we go, an entertaining one, 3-2. Physicality ramped up in this one. Knights just trying to continue to tilt the field in their direction, but Livac not allowing them to go in front by more than one. Montez with a shot that goes wide.
I like that shot from Montez. That's what we talked about earlier. Remember, she had that same individual effort. She went high to low. She went off of Livac, who was already guessing low. Nice job there by Montez. Just get a little bit more rise on that hip to high shot you're putting in the back of the net.
Possession kept alive by Alex Dean. She cuts inside. Stick check knocked free from Alexis Taylor. And up and around that head and neck area, referee deemed that to be a little bit too dangerous. O'Leary's going to get the ball right back.
And if you're Missouri Baptist, you cannot keep giving all of these free position shots to Marian. You are putting a lot of pressure on Livac. She's answered the call every time here so far in the second, but you have to quit putting Marian in these great scoring chances.
Here's Dean, loses it on the shots, but the ground ball is up for grabs. Right place, right time for Sissel, but no, says the official.
I think they're going to get Dean for being in the crease right before Sissel turned it loose. But another errant pass here for Missouri Baptist. The Spartans have been nowhere near precise as they need to be on these passes here in the second quarter.
Yeah, that's at least 3 clears in a row that have not been completed. As you get Sissel, who was just denied a goal, already back with the ball, fighting her way through a double team before getting shoved to the turf. Another whistle stopping play here. And I think we might get a card again from the referee. This one, the color is green. And I believe that's Jahines Ward, who is on her way to the sideline. And we'll step out for that one for the next 60 seconds of game action. 7:13 left to play in the second quarter. Still looking for our first goal here of the second quarter as well. Knights have had plenty of opportunities. Ruby Mason coming very close with a shot that hit the right post a few minutes ago. And Sissel thought she had scored more recently, but crease violation waves that goal off. And now O'Leary back behind the cage, feeds inside. Ella Grace Geed thought about a shot, passes, tried to find Sissel in front of the crease, could not. Ruby Mason gets the ground ball and goes right back to Geed. Now a feed inside, in and out of the stick once more of her teammate. Sissel was open again on the crease. And then the ground ball picked up by Taylor. Again, the Spartans finally get a successful clear put together here in the second quarter. Geed on the ride. Yard sale of a stick check. Is it going to create a transition opportunity? Spartans think they have numbers back. Geed with her head up on the dodge. Now floats a pass in front. And O'Leary can't hang on to it. Livac, as aware as ever, steps out of her crease to grab the ground ball.
2 passes in a row there from the talented Geed there, just trying to throw it too much into traffic and puts her teammates into some just really tough situations, trying to catch that ball right in front of the goal mouth. And after he had an opportunity maybe to slow it and back it out to try to get that first goal of the second quarter, now Missouri Baptist has got to try and clear. The problem, though, is Livac's holding on to the ball. Nobody's able to get open here for the Spartans in blue.
Yeah, Missouri Baptist hoping some patience may pay off in the clear here as Emily Gewert tries to avoid some pressure before she gets across midfield. Still not completely out of trouble, and I believe we get a timeout that is called just before the clear is wrapped up by Missouri Baptist. Head coach Max Ruled wanting to talk things over, probably calm things down a little bit after his team failed several clears here in this second quarter. So he's going to try and talk things over And while he does that, would like to remind you about BSN, our apparel sponsor. Thank you to BSN, the preferred provider of apparel for Marian Knights athletics. Also, Hoagies and Hops. Hoagies and Hops has been serving PA-style hoagies and cheesesteaks in Indianapolis since 2015. Located just 6 minutes from campus, Hoagies and Hops is proud to partner with Marian University Athletics and will provide a 15% discount for all fans. Just show your game day ticket or Marian ID card. For hours, menu, and location, visit hoagiesandhops.com. Rick, talk about this game for a little bit. I'm going to go find a Marian ID card so I can get that 50% off Hoagies and Hops.
You know, I've been trying to push to see if we could bring like our broadcasting notes. Would that qualify as a Marian ID card? I've gotten crickets back since, but I'm going to try to get it figured out before the end of the year.
You got to do what you can. It's I mean, I'll pay full price any day of the week at Hoagies and Hops. Don't get me wrong, but if I knew about that 15% deal when I was looking at colleges to go to, I think Marian
would have done it for you.
Would have had me in some of their classrooms.
So word of the wise, Marian University admissions staff, let the people know, let your high schoolers, transfer students know about the 15% off at Hoagies and Hops, and then get ready to be
enrollment through the roof.
Yeah, this is going to be ready to be smothered by applications coming your way.
The timeout most recently called by Max Rule, head coach of the Missouri Baptist Spartans. And, Rick, what do you think the conversation is with Coach? How do you calm down the team a little bit? Obviously, we've been watching the second quarter. Clearing game hasn't exactly been ideal. Turnovers have kind of racked up a little bit against his team.
Yeah, 3 failed clears here from Missouri Baptist in the second quarter. The thing that's more alarming is they've had 7 turnovers already with still 5 and change left to play here before intermission. And this is the first time that Missouri Baptist has had the ball in their attacking end of the field, and it feels like forever. And so if you're the Spartans, you don't want to rush through this possession. I think that was discussed in the timeout. I think the other part was, too, is stop turning the ball over. We have got to give ourselves opportunities to try and score. We can't keep playing defense this entire game.
Yeah, Spartans, you could easily argue, fortunate to still be down a goal and have not allowed a goal here in this second quarter. We've got about 10 minutes that's gone by here in the second. Most of those spent in Marian's offensive end. And so here with the ball for, really the first this is the longest settled possession I can remember the second quarter is Missouri Baptist. And look at that. And you talk about the mentality to stay in a game. It's been tough sledding all quarter long. Finally, Missouri Baptist gets some settled offense going. It does not take very long for them to score at all as you get another look at the replay. On the other end of it is Sophia Rose getting her first goal of the day.
I mean, look at Rose, just wide open on the backside. You do not see a Marian defense fall asleep like that, particularly from those backline players on the back end of their hybrid zone. Rose right there on the doorstep, scores for the second game in a row. The grad student from St. Louis ties this thing up, and if you are head coach Max Rule, you cannot be more happy than the possession your team just had. It was smart, it was patient, you found the open player, and now you got the game tied.
Yeah, well-timed timeouts, and I don't know if he drew anything up on a clipboard or something, but whatever was discussed in that timeout, clearly worth burning one there. As we go back to the draw circle, first time this quarter we've got a draw. The Knights started possession here in the second after they ended the first with the ball, and it's going to be a call that goes against Petchnik. So the Knights are going to get the ball right back, tied at 3 apiece. And this is a team that is hungry for a goal here in the second. They've been close on several occasions, but just have not been able to get past Livac here in the second. Livac coming into this one, 55% save percentage. Made 18 saves so far on the season coming into this one. This isn't a defense that's given up a whole lot offensively, let alone a whole lot of shots on goal. So Livac has been tested, really peppered here in this second quarter, and has stood tall. Now finding a cutter, catch and shoot. That time the Knights able to get one by the sophomore goaltender. Ruby Mason gets her second.
Beautiful off-ball cut there from Mason. And it looked like Bozeman is the one that found her. Actually, it was Newell. And you see the Knights coming through. Mason getting that second tally, but coming in a quick shot. And she goes high to low real quick and able to go over the shoulder. And Nessa Robertson, she's got 5 inches on her and use that height to her advantage to make sure Robertson couldn't try to lift her stick up and tilt her backwards.
Good job to find a cutter as well. Something we talked about plenty in the pregame, something we talked about with Coach Stork Sneed. And just trying to use some of that off-ball movement, cuts to the goal, as a potential area where they felt they could capitalize on against a very stout Missouri Baptist defense. Pays off that time around. And Ruby Mason right back to work at midfield. As the two sevens have taken each draw of this game. And once again, it is Mason getting the win here. This time, not with any help from the official, doing it on her own. Ella Grace Geed with the ball now, and back on offense are the Knights after a couple of draw controls, one in a row.
And if you're Marian, and I like what they did in the last possession, they didn't really get away from what they had done and had seen some success here in the second quarter. Obviously, that was their first goal. I understand that, but they were really making Livac and his Missouri Baptist defense work. I think you have to keep doing the same thing here. Be patient. Don't try to force it in there like we saw them do a couple of times here. You're going to keep putting goals on the board.
Grace Geed with a nice pass inside to Alex Dean, who then gets knocked down to the ground. And if you didn't hear it on the broadcast, it did draw a whistle from the referee. Officiating crew's been busy here in quarter number 2 as you get another look at the push just right into the back of Dean.
Look at Dean on the turf like, what are we doing here? She goes, I didn't end up on the ground by myself, on my own doing. And so Schnefke, the guilty party, another free position here for the Knights.
The Knights have gotten plenty of them here in the second, just haven't been able to capitalize. Will Dean break through? Absolutely. She goes low on the shot for her first goal of the day, third of the season. Largest lead from either team now as the Knights go in front by 2.
Love that shot there from the junior Alex Dean. Doesn't mess around, takes a couple steps forward and fires that thing and uses the earth to her advantage, knowing that if I can fire that thing off the turf and it's going to skip up and it's going to be good for me, and goes right there off stick side. Beautiful placement there from Dean.
Yeah, and you see Livac able to track that shot as well. It gives you an idea of just how well she's been seeing the ball here in this game. But you mentioned it, Rick, shot placement, always important, and sometimes good shot placement is all you need to beat a goalie. You don't necessarily need to fire a shot with a whole bunch of power. And you mentioned it, off stick low. Put it far enough in the corner. Marian by 2. And here's the rain that we've been so worried about all week long. So slippery conditions, you can expect those for the next good bit of this game as Bozeman comes away with ground ball. Draw controls really starting to stack up for the Knights here.
Also interesting to see there that the Spartans put Alexis Taylor out there. First time that has been Pechnik taking the draw for MBU. So they're trying to throw some other things here at Mason, who's found her groove there on the draw controls. But Harrison, like you mentioned, this rain popped up out of nowhere. It's going to really start to play havoc with your stick. So if you're a player on the field, you've got to keep your eyes on making sure that your stick, A, stays legal. That's the biggest issue, but also has the right pocket so you can keep doing what you want to do. And another free position shot upcoming here, as every time it seems like today, Harrison, we've seen the Knights go through that critical scoring area. They're getting shoved every time they get anywhere inside those fans.
Yeah, Ruby Mason was the player who was shoved, and Schnefke, Alexis Taylor that time around, the guilty party.
2-minute yellow card here for the junior out of St. Louis.
That's the third yellow total on the Spartans. 3 different players with a yellow card now. That's worth keeping an eye on. As Mason from the 8-meter patiently waits for her chance to maybe score here. 5-3 is the advantage on the scoreboard. Can the Knights add to it? Mason steps out of it. They'll set up the offense instead. They are a player up. Geed nearly with an assist there on a nice pass on the inside to Sissel. Ground ball keeps it on this end of the field, courtesy of O'Leary. So once again, a player up are the Knights. Geed feeding the crease. Another save by Livac. Rebound up for grabs. Good job by O'Leary. A couple of ground balls in recent action, keeping it on this side of the field. Now a pass inside. Mason catch and shoot. Livac once again. Are you kidding me? She is having an absolute day in between the pipes, and we're going to get another whistle that's called against Missouri Baptist as Mason pushed from behind once more.
I don't know how Ruby got as much velocity on that shot as she did as she was diving down towards the turf. Again, pushed from behind. See the pass right in front. Thought it was going to be another quick stick try, and probably was wanting to go more on the stick side down low, but with that push forced her to throw it right into Livac.
So Livac standing on her head once again. And that was Newell who got inside, lost the ball as she tried to fire a shot. And that might have been a dangerous follow-through, and I believe that's exactly the case. Oh, and the senior who's whistled for that yellow card out of the referee's pocket. And an unfortunate break for Talia Newell, who just lost the ball before she even started that shot. So the follow-through was with an empty stick, and you just see here, right in that dangerous area above the shoulders, Anessa Robertson was the player who's fortunate to come away healthy from that.
If you're Missouri Baptist, you probably got to sit on this for about 30 seconds before you're going to get Taylor back out there. And then obviously you're going to want to sit on it because you can start with the second half with being a woman up here to be able to start the second half with possession. So if Missouri Baptist is going to take a shot here, you've got to make sure that you're going to put it in the back of the net. You do not want to give away this possession after getting back on your heels for the majority of the second quarter. You're going to have the woman advantage here as you see Taylor jogging onto the field right there at the bottom of your screen. But I'm not seeing Missouri Baptist trying to push anything, try to push the issue here with 40 seconds left to go before half.
We do get a whistle. That goes against the Knights. And it's going to be an opportunity here where I think now, Rick, you do want to be aggressive. You do want to shoot on Cage. A free position. Madison Terrell is going to be the player with the angle here. Favorable angle, the right-handed player. Will pass down to the crease, catch and shoots, and unable to get one through is Pechnik. Ground ball picked up by Jones. Haven't had to say her name a whole lot in this quarter. Now a quick clear could potentially set something up for Marian here on offense, even with Toole serving some time for that yellow card. Bozeman hanging on to that through traffic. Grace Geed has got a player open if she wants her. Finds Mason. Denied by Livac. Rebound right back into the stick of Mason with a buzzer-beating goal that the official might say no. Mason, absolutely shocked, gets a yellow card. It's another dangerous follow-through. And the third time today, by my count, the Knights have had a goal waved off. This one in the most unfortunate set of circumstances on a dangerous follow-through. It's either on the first or the second.
I think it's on the second because if you look right there of Robertson's reaction, the follow-through just barely for Mason, just barely nicks Robertson on the cheek or the chin. It just barely got her. The first one was close too, but she was already shooting the ball so she didn't lose it. That is a real tough break there for Mason and Marian. Just a whisker away from an incredible goal from Mason. But a really, really tough break there for the Knights. They probably should be into this half up by 3, but just narrowly nicking the 5-foot Robertson right there. Takes the goal off the board.
Tough break to end the half for Marian. They're going to start the third with 2 players serving yellow cards as Ruby Mason just picked up her first as well. It is a lead, albeit a narrow one for Marian here at halftime. Rick and I'll recap some of the first half action and what's been a thrilling one here in Indianapolis.
Does your school offer high-quality education? Does it offer virtual or hybrid options? Marian University Preparatory School educates students in a safe, faith-based environment focused on college and career exploration. Here at Marian University Preparatory School, we empower parents and help students to master what they love and learn as they live. We are now enrolling students in grades 6 through 9 this fall. Full financial aid packages are still available. Act now to make MU Prep your school for 2022.
This is Paul. He loves running, music, and DIY home projects. In fact, he's remodeling his kitchen thanks to a home equity line of credit from Indiana Members Credit Union. They connected him with a loan officer, got him approved at a great low rate, and made it easy for him to make his monthly payment from anywhere thanks to IMCU's digital banking. Looks like Paul can do it all with a little help from
always had great taste. Today, try great taste with zero sugar. This is the Pepsi with zero compromises. This is Pepsi Zero Sugar.
We jumped in immediately. We take a intro to engineering course.
And they sit there and tell you, we're not going to push you through every single prereq your first 2 years. We're going to let you get hands-on work with engineering right away because 2 years of a prereq, that's boring.
This is Molly. She loves hiking, her dog Max, and cars that fit her lifestyle, like this cool new ride that she got with help from Indiana Members Credit Union at a great low rate. Looks like Molly is really getting the max from her credit union.
Welcome back to Ascension St. Vincent Field. Halftime here. Knights up 5-3 against the Missouri Baptist Spartans. That is the Missouri Baptist huddle, a little home team cooking. They get to actually go back to a locker room, get out of the rain here in Indianapolis. Our broadcast brought to you by Indiana Members Credit Union. Indiana Members Credit Union is proud to support Marian University and now offers a Marian University Knights debit card. The card's included when you open a free IMCU checking account. Get your Marian University Knights debit card today and show your support. Visit any IMCU branch or sign up online now at imcu.com. Also, Masters Heating and Cooling. When the action heats up, trust Masters Heating and Cooling Indianapolis to keep your home cool. Visit mastersindy.com. And then Michaelis. From ground-up building projects to around-the-clock emergency security services, no one answers your prayers or the phones quicker than Michaelis. Call 1-844-FIX-INDY. Halftime here. Mention the score, 5-3. Knights up by a couple. As we take a look at some first-half stats, Delaney Pechnick, a couple of goals there in the first half, both coming in the first quarter. She leads Missouri Baptist in that scoring department. The other goal scorer that's Spartans had in the first half came from Sophia Rowe. She's got just one through the first quarter. From Marian, Ruby Mason leading the team in goals. She's got a couple of them. More importantly, though, they stuck one by us, Rick. Ella Grace Geed is credited with an assist in that first half. That gives her the all-time program record for career points. So just in the third game this season, and more to go on the schedule. She's going to continue to add to that number as she's risen to the top of the record book in career points. She's also up there in the goals department. She could get there this year. Don't want to look too far ahead, though. Do want to shout out our goalies. Rachel Livak's been absolutely fantastic in that first half. 11 saves on just 5 goals allowed. She has done incredible work inside the crease today to keep this game probably closer than it should be. On the other side of the field, Anaya Jones, 3 saves on 3 goals allowed. So both goalies at or above 50% here in this one. Knights out shooting the Spartans 18-7. 16 of those 18 shots, by the way, have been on goal. Draw controls, Knights have 4 compared to just 5 for Missouri Baptist, but they got the better of the Spartans in that second quarter. And importantly here, Knights perfect 6-6 on clears. 7-3 is Missouri Baptist with those 3 failed clears coming in quarter number 2. Knights getting the better of the Spartans in the turnover department as well. 13 for Missouri Baptist there in that first half, just 8 for Marian. And that will do it for your first half statistics. We will see if any of those statistical trends continue into the third quarter. We've got some highlights coming up later at the halftime break. Once again, 5-3, Marian in front on ISC Sports Network.
Merchants Bank is a unique bank. As rates move up and down, our rates are always at the top.
Great, great. Let's go.
Our team has a proven track record as one of the nation's top performing banks.
Now, that's a top performer.
What you see is what you get. A 4.00 APY money market without gimmicks or hidden fees.
Let's leapfrog them. Hop to it. Merchants Bank, where your money is safe, secure, and earning more. Hop on over.
There's something that may surprise you about Marian University. It's not our Catholic faith or our Franciscan values. It's not our 5,000 students or our diversity. It's not Marian's championship athletics or our Indianapolis location. It's that Marian is home to Indiana's only college of osteopathic medicine. Marian, Indy's Catholic University.
This is Molly. She loves road trips, hikes, her dog Max, and cars that fit her lifestyle, like this cool new ride that she got with help from Indiana Members Credit Union at a great low rate. And for when she's on the go, IMCU makes it easy for her to pay from anywhere thanks to their digital banking. Looks like Molly is really getting the max from her credit union.
This is the Pepsi for America's best barbecue. Worthy of 100-mile detours and 1,000 likes. Looks good. This is the Pepsi for mopping, dipping, and dousing. Whatever you're craving, this is the Pepsi for you. This is the Pepsi for serious fans and serious eats. This is the Pepsi for Sundays at the ballpark and days off at your favorite pizza joint. Right, Aaron?
Best slice in New York.
Whatever you're craving, this is the Pepsi for you.
Highlights of the first half. You can check them out here as Petchnik got the scoring started. Little catch roll. Go low to low in the shot placement. This is the open scoring Ruby Mason on a free position look for the Knights.
Yeah, that tied the game at 1, and if you're Marian, you have to be thinking, oh no, here we go again, because that first Petchnik goal came less than 30 seconds into the entire contest, a carbon copy when they fell behind 1-0 against Cumberland's last week off the opening draw. But after Petchnik scores here off the free position, that tied the thing at 2. It was a lot of Marian after that, as they really did a good job both defensively and calmed things down offensively. That was a pretty goal there from O'Leary to give Marian the lead 3-2 at the end of the opening quarter. She also had to walk the tightrope there, and then that second quarter was all Ruby Mason.
Yeah, you see the Knights starting to do some damage there from free position looks. But that was actually the only goal that we saw from the Spartans in the second quarter came from Sophia Rose, the only player not named Delaney Petchnik to get a goal for the visitors. So they're talking things over at halftime, going to try and figure out how they can get some more offense going because they're going to need it trailing by 2. We will have the start of the third coming up after this on the ISC Sports Network.
This is Paul. He loves running, music, and DIY home projects. In fact, he's remodeling his kitchen thanks to a great low rate on a home equity line of credit from Indiana Members Credit Union. Looks like Paul can do it all with a little help from IMCU. This is Paul. He loves running, music, and DIY home projects. In fact, he's remodeling his kitchen thanks to a great low rate on a home equity line of credit from Indiana Members Credit Union. Looks like Paul can do it all with a little help from IMCU. This is Molly. She loves road trips, hikes, her dog Max, and cars that fit her lifestyle, like this cool new ride that she got with help from Indiana Members Credit Union at a great low rate. And for when she's on the go, IMCU makes it easy for her to pay from anywhere thanks to their digital banking. Looks like Molly is really getting the max from her credit union.
Here we go, just about ready for the third quarter. New player for the Knights at midfield, taking the draw control. Delaney Colas is who you're seeing there, 21 in white. Petchnik and her having a laugh before we get the third quarter started. Harrison Silcox and Rick Johnston with you here at Ascension St. Vincent Field. Not a single draw control was won by Missouri Baptist in that second quarter. And the reason why you're seeing Colas taking the draw is because Ruby Mason, who normally takes the draws for Marian, got a yellow card on a dangerous follow-through. You got 2 players currently serving yellow cards for dangerous follow-throughs. Both of them are Marian Knights. Talia Newell, the other one. Massive draw control here for Missouri Baptist. They win it. There are a couple of players up out on the field, and so they'll look to cash in here trailing by 2. An early test defensively here for Marian.
For the Knights, you've got to rely on your senior leadership. Jada Taylor at the bottom of your screen, moved from midfield. Anaya Williams, though a freshman there on the bottom side of the zone, has got to play above her grade level here in this tough spot to start the third.
Bad pass As this one goes outside of the attacking zone, Missouri Baptist able to hang on to it. Schnefke was ready for that pass to go awry, as the rain kind of been off and off here in the last moments of game action. Off and on, I should say.
We prefer off and off.
Yes,
we
exactly.
prefer off and off.
We do, but that has unfortunately not been the case here all week long in Indianapolis. 1 minute gone by here in this third quarter. Knights with a 2-goal advantage, but they've got a couple of players down. Cutter open in front, great save from Jones.
Morrissey right on the doorstep, but threw it right into the stick of Jones, and that was a golden opportunity for the Spartans to get back to within one.
Dean gets the ground ball in transition, and a full sprint here now. Shot on the run. Goalie's going save for save as Livac tracks another one, that time denying Colas. Knights, though, will keep the ball, as Bozeman has it here at a goal in the first half. 1 minute left to work with on the possession. A big stop, though, for Marian there, Rick, as you still have Mason who's serving out the yellow card. Newell is back on the field. So not quite back to even strength for the Knights. It's why you're seeing Bozeman being pressured here. As the Spartans, they want to get the ball back. Might be a slight offsides here, as that is the case. Olivia Dean got the ball just outside of her attacking zone, or her team's attacking zone, and then stepped inside before another player from inside stepped outside. And right now, Mason is standing back out on the field.
Yeah, they released her, and then...
So I think we're back to even strength, essentially.
Yes.
There's still a conversation from the officials. And it could even be a discussion about if Dean was actually offsides or not. Just wanting to make sure they got it right. Basically, you would have needed an exchange of players to step across that 30-yard line. You would have needed one who's from the left side of the 30-yard line to step out before Dean could step in. And all the officials are talking it over. We have one now coming back toward the scorer's table, talking things over with both coaches, currently looking in the direction of Stork Sneed, who I would imagine is trying to argue that Dean was actually onside. And now she wants a timeout. Stork Sneed off camera looking a little frustrated there, still having conversation with the official. And the green card is out for offsides. Stork Sneed called a timeout in the midst of all that, just burned one here in the first 2 minutes of the third quarter, which that could be massive if this game stays close. And the coaching staff for Marian still in a lengthy conversation with the referee. Here's another look at it. And you see Dean step inside. Bozeman had stepped out and then stepped back over the 30. And so now players are back out there. I don't know if Stork Sneed actually got the timeout.
I think they gave it back to her. I think what she was trying to do was trying to call the timeout to prevent
I think
to prevent it happening,
well,
but
yep.
since it already had happened, the green card is issued, and they said, well, then we're just going to give you the timeout back. As you mentioned, you don't want to burn. You only get 3 per half, and so you only get a 3 per half. You don't want to burn that 2 minutes into the second quarter, but a real kind of wacky play there, just a hair here, a hair there, and now Missouri Baptist gets it back after thinking they're going to have to try to stop another really Marian offense that's humming along pretty well here.
So after all that, gets sorted out. And it is worth thanking our officials for working today's game. Not an easy job. Missouri Baptist back with the ball and some work to do, trailing by a couple. Terrell feeds one inside to the cutter. Missouri Baptist able to get a goal. Marissa Oldham scoring.
Just a beautiful off-ball cut here from Oldham. And again, another opportunity here where the Marian defense falls asleep with a cutter coming in, and now the Knights will take the timeout here. But Oldham, a beautiful off-ball cut. Back in her home state, the junior from Evansville, a couple hours away, back here. But look at this off-ball cut right there, was able to beat Taylor on the cut, and a nice feed there from behind GLE by Terrell. Second time today we've seen Marian fall asleep on a cutter. Remember, back in the first half, it was Rose that was on the backside of the crease, was able to dunk it home This time, coming right down the alley is Oldham on a beautiful off-ball cut there for number 7 Missouri Baptist.
And as you mentioned, Rick, timeout is called by Marian and Allie Storks-Need, who wants to talk some things over. And Missouri Baptist, this is the start to the second half. They would have wanted getting back within a goal in the first 3 minutes of action. And while we are in a break, would like to remind you about Miller Transportation. Thanks to Miller Transportation, the official transportation sponsor of Marian Athletics. Also Pepsi. Grab a Pepsi and some friends and get in the game. Pepsi, proud partner of the Marian University Knights. And you see there, Allie Storks-Need, lengthy conversation with our officiating crew.
And Missouri Baptist head coach Max Rule there listening in here as well.
As our production crew is trying to get another look at what happened on that offside call. I would imagine Storks-Need still arguing whether or not her player was onside or not. Dean was the player who had the ball cross the 30-yard line. And as much as she wants to talk about it, and if I'm not mistaken, that's Max Rule, who's also out there for Missouri Baptist talking with the referees. And this is a look at it. So actually, if we could go back just a little bit further, guys. So you see 9 in white, 17 in who has it right now, Bozeman. You see her step across the 30, step back over simultaneously. I think Dean might have had a foot right on that 30-yard line. That 30-yard line is key. That's where the attacking zone starts in women's lacrosse. It's only right. You can't just pack all your players across the 30-yard line. You have to keep a certain amount of players back. And that is how you get outside. If you're familiar with the men's game, it's similar to that. It's just the lines are different. In the men's game, that line starts right at the 50. And the women's game, obviously you have a different amount of players on the field. Your attacking zone starts at the 30-yard line. And as we explain all that, the end result doesn't change. Missouri Baptist obviously still going to have a goal. And the draw control that's ever important goes in the direction of Marian. They get the ball back. Lead cut down to 1, but a chance to increase it back to 2 as Mason works inside. The speed nearly paying off, but the shot's not on target.
Mason's speed today has been an absolute killer here for the Knights. Has been able to really put Missouri Baptist on their heels, and she's able to find those open lanes and has done a really nice job there scoring twice.
Sissel has the ball here. Dodges on Pechnik. Now back to O'Leary. Freshman, you saw her goal in the highlight reel at halftime. Great look inside to Mason, just couldn't hang on to it. This ball goes out of play. Last deflected by the Knights. Missouri Baptist able to get a stop defensively. And they'll get to work on the clear. Pass deflected. The ride from Marian has been excellent so far today. Geed coming away with the ground ball. Has it knocked out of her stick, and the ball just rolls over the inline. Or the sideline, I should say.
Really
Looked
nice
like the Knights got to stop. Go ahead, Rick.
No, really nice trail check there from Missouri Baptist on the ride. But that's the one thing Marian's done such a good job today is you see Geed getting the ride here against the netminder, Livac. The Knights have done so well at putting their sticks in enemy passing lane. It's made life hard for the Spartans.
Yeah, Livac well out of her goal, near that near sideline as well. Geed providing all sorts of pressure. Bad pass from Livac. This one is going to roll out of play. Knights get it right back. So right on cue, the ride has been absolutely excellent today.
Geed, again, not really known for her riding, as we mentioned earlier, is now the sole possession holder of most points scored in a Marian uniform. But that ride was impeccable right there. Now if you're Marian, another opportunity for a slow, patient possession, trying to get a little more breathing room here against number 7 Missouri Baptist.
Yeah, I'm sure as a coach, too, you'd love to see your star player on offense hustling in the transition game, right? Doing the stuff that doesn't show up on the stat sheet and the amount of pressure that she put on Livac there, helping force a turnover. Here's Montez. Pushes it down to that far wing. 50 seconds left on the possession. Knights by a goal. Looking to upset the number 7 team of the country, Ruby Mason. Passes to Geed. Has yet to have a goal today. Just 1 point here. Great defense from Missouri Baptist. Geed trying to get her hands free, now forcing something inside to Mason. She just grabs the ground ball and rolls away from the crashing defense. Pass now too high. Will this ball stay in play? It's chased down by Montez. And now late in the shot clock, Knights hanging on to the ball in a one-goal lead. Geed will shoot, zips it over the crossbar.
I like the shot idea there from Geed. We mentioned it earlier. We saw Livac kind of guessing low on a couple of ones there in the first half. Want to keep testing her high. The Knights have already scored one upstairs. Geed trying to get the second.
Officials, by the way, say that was worth a shot clock reset, so that shot from Geed must have nicked the crossbar. That's the difference between, single digits left on the shot clock when that ball's back in play. Now you get a whole minute and nearly a cutter popping free in the inside as Colas tried to break free. She didn't catch it. Geed comes away with a loose ball. The rest is history.
What a shot here from Ella Grace Geed to the top shelf. A beautiful rip. And watch it right here. The feed from O'Leary couldn't find the intended target in Colas. Geed says, that's cool. I got it. Let me go to the 90. And I'm going to put us back up by 2.
It makes that look so easy, Rick. That ball's bouncing. It's loose. It's a clean pickup. And she turns it right. She picks up the ball and immediately has that stick back and ready to shoot. And in these wet conditions as well, that is a heck of a lot harder than what Ella Grace Geed made that look like. And now it is 2 points for her on the evening. Knights go back in front by 2. Mason back out for this draw control. She got the better of Petchnik for all of that second quarter. Now that she's back out there for this draw, we'll see if that continues here in the third. 6-4, Knights advantage back up to 2. So we've got a game on our hands in the third quarter. Mason played her high school ball at Bishop Chatard. Just shy of 60 draw controls a year ago. And this one is going to go in favor of Missouri Baptist. Oldham coming away with it. The most recent goal scorer for the Spartans gets the draw control. So much needed possession here for Missouri Baptist. Oldham wisely rolling away from the pressure from Dean. Now it's with Petchnik here up top. Back with Oldham once more. Wide open up top and a whistle from the official. As Bella McMillan popped open off ball, and we'll get a great look from the 8-meter. And McMillan steps in, shoots. A stick check knocks that shot above the crossbar and out of play. And the backup goes to the Knights.
Timely check there from both Taylor and Olivia Dean. Got there a step before McMillan could have let her rip. Great job by the collapsing defense on the free possession shot.
Petchnik now knocked the ball loose in transition. Ground ball picked up by, I believe, Ward. So good response, forcing a turnover in transition are the Spartans. Iskrig now across midfield and drawing a whistle as well, and a card likely from the referee too. And the color is going to be green. Olivia Dean having to step out for 1 minute. If there's any player you don't want off the field for a minute for the Knights, it is Olivia Dean with what she brings to the table defensively.
Yeah, the sophomore, as we mentioned earlier, conference player of the year, or the defensive player of the year in the WLAC, conference newcomer of the year as well. And we thought she might be on a pitch count today. Wasn't sure how much she was going to play, but just unfortunate there had that stick up high. And it was got in contact there with the Missouri Baptist player.
What a save on the doorstep from Anaya Jones. Cutter popped free. Jones making the stop. She had 3 saves in the first half. A huge one here in the third. Now the Knights are going to try and clear and kill off the rest of the green card, but trouble here as Kircher could not haul in the pass. It was just a little bit too far out to her right. That ball bounces out of play. Rain back in play, I believe, as well. I think I'm seeing some raindrops as Iskrig will have the ball now before she passes into the attacking zone of the Spartans. Still a player up. Dean about to re-enter the field of play. 6-4, Spartans down by a couple. Once again, trying to claw back and get this down to a 1-goal game. Oldham, the lone goal scorer for the Spartans here in the second half. Great collapse defensively from the Knights. Morrissey on the far side. Pushes it back below goal line, extended. Now Terrell, back out to Pechnik. 2 goals in this one Pechnik has as she surveys. Pressure comes. Now she finds Morrissey cutting inside. Shot hits that low left corner. Back within 1 is Missouri Baptist.
Another beautiful find. There's Pechnik. We'll see if they give her credit for the assist. Morrissey has already had 2 helpers today. She was close to scoring the last time down the field before Marian turned it over. This time Morrissey steps right in, and she's been on a tear here, Harrison. 9 goals in almost 4 complete games. You see the rain coming down, but look at Morrissey just running through checks, and then she puts in that low corner away from Anaya Jones. Excellent placement there from Skylar Morrissey.
Yeah, absolutely. A tough goal, as you mentioned, fighting through a handful of stick checks on her way to getting her hands free. 5:55 left to go, 6-5 here in the third quarter of play at Ascension St. Vincent Field. Missouri Baptist, the number 7 team in the country, trailing but trying to fight back on the road. They have not led for very long in this game. They got the opening goal. You mentioned Pechnik, who had the assist on that one. She got the opening goal. Knights responded back, took a lead, and they've had it ever since. Last time we were tied, it was 3-3 back in the second. Off a goal from Sophia Rose. Now a cut inside as a ball that just trickles its way to Jones, who grabs the loose ball and will pick a pass out in transition. More trouble on the clear here for the Knights. They've had some issues now in the recent minutes of the third. Morrissey comes away with the ground ball. And back to the defensive end goes Marian. Morrissey, though, loses it off the pass. Now we got a ground ball that's 50-50. Iskrig with the nifty hands to pick it up off the turf.
Lucy trying to push numbers here with the Spartans. They're making sure that they're onside. The problem, though, is that their best player, Pechnik, had to wait behind the line. Now she's into the fray with some room to work.
And here's Pechnik now off the pass from McMillan. And pressure comes defensively. As Jada Taylor trying to make things uncomfortable for Pechnik up top. Now quickly worked around. Player winds up popping open on the crease. And Missouri Baptist ties this one. Sophia Rose with the off-ball IQ.
Carbon copy of the goal in the first half for Rose. Wide open on the backside. She tries to throw that stick to the center of the earth and ties this thing at 6. An unfortunate break for Marian. They came out. I was wondering if the rotation was going to be there when they put the pressure up top on Pechnik. She made the great extra pass to her left and a quick swing on right there on the doorstep there for Rose. Beautiful ball movement. Oldham on the assist. Second time that the Knights have been burned, trying to make Pechnik's life difficult above the 12 and 15 meter fans, and the Spartans able to capitalize.
Sophia Rose, plenty of experience at Rhodes College transfer and a graduate year. 11 points on the season coming into this one. She's got 2 goals. And more importantly, Missouri Baptist has tied this thing for the 4th time today. Much needed draw control from Marian. And let's see if the offense can find a goal here in these rainy conditions. 4.5 left to go. Talked with Coach Stork Sneed yesterday. You and I did, Rick, and the weather was a question. And she just said, look, we practice in this stuff, right? So we should be ready to go come game time. And it's been raining all week here in Indiana. They've been practicing in the rain this week. I can't tell you what the weather's been back in Missouri, but it's the Midwest. This is the kind of weather you can get here at this time of the year. So both these teams you'd expect are used to it, but we have seen the weather, I would wager, play some of an impact in the turnovers we've seen today as Geed pushes the ball out to Montez, who works inside. Defense does not give her an alley toward the cage. Now Mason cutting, and somehow on the catch and shoot while diving away from the crease is able to beat Livac and put that one in a highlight reel. What a goal from Mason, who had one taken away from her at the end of the first half. Get another look at this one.
Incredible. It's absolutely incredible from Ruby Mason. Geed on to help her. Her second one tonight. But a highlight reel goal for Mason taken away at the end of the first. This one was better than the one that didn't count. She catches it at her knees and in one smooth motion just catches and swings it underneath the crossbar. Mwah! Chef's kiss from Ruby Mason.
And with how precise you have to be in these slippery conditions to make that catch and shot. We talked with Storks Nate about this weather, and one of the things she just said, it's harder to hang on to the ball. It's harder to catch the ball. Like, the ball will bounce out of these sticks, to slip out of the sticks a lot more easily, and to just in one swoop catch and shoot that. Mason showing why she's a fantastic offensive weapon for this team. Another great offensive weapon on the field is Petchnik for Missouri Baptist, who gets the draw control. Double team comes as Montez and Taylor try to apply some pressure. Taylor will hang with it here as Petchnik just has the ball out on the far side of the field. 3.5 left to play in the third, and a fun one here at Marian. Petchnik back with it again. Now Oldham, product out of Evansville. And we'll turn it over. Tried to push it back to Terrell. Ball went out of play. Williams gets things started now as play resets from the whistle of the referee. 3 minutes left to go here in the third quarter. Long pass in the clear. Ends up bouncing in the direction of Dean, who pushes into the attacking zone. Marian trying to push their lead back to 2. As it settles now, the ball in the stick of Montez. We've seen a lot of patience here today from Marian. Part of the reason why we haven't seen a whole lot of goals in this one, as Dean has the ball now. Had it knocked free momentarily, but is able to hang on to possession. Montez now works to her right. Trying to find a cutter inside. Ground ball, though, not able to be hung on to by Livac. Fortunate break there for the Knights as Mason's going to go find a loose ball. 35 seconds on the shot clock, which continues to move. 2:10 left to play here in the third quarter.
A little too much speed on that one there from Montez. Good to see there the hustle there from Mason. Making things a little bit more difficult there for Livac, the netminder, and now Marian's got to regroup, but they got to go quick.
Livac's got 13 saves in this game. Hit double digits by the time we got to halftime. 5 seconds left on the possession. Will Dean force the issue? Back to her left hand and loses the ball, but a shot clock violation is why you hear the whistle from the referee. Alexis Taylor came crashing in to help not give Dean a lane to the goal. And it pays off, forcing the violation, and here come the Spartans on a clear on the far side of the field. Plenty of time left on the shot clock to work most of what's remaining on the clock here in the third. Just a slight differential where they can't work everything that's left here in the third quarter.
Oh.
As a couple of players collide off ball in the meantime. It is Taylor pushes it back to Ward. Ward trying to find a step, cannot. Taylor out to apply pressure against. Massive part of this defensive game plan, what Taylor's able to do and the pressure that she's able to provide. This is Oldham on the opposite side of the field. Morrissey back working the crease once more. Terrell in front, still has the ball. Dean knocked it free. Whistle from the referee, I think, is going to give a free position look to the Spartans.
Yeah, Terrell was coming right across the goal mouth, was running right through the heart of the Marian defense. I'm with you, Harrison. I don't know how she kept that going from the near post to the far post. And for all that hard work, a free position shot with about a half a minute to go here in the third.
Stick in her right hand, Terrell with a look on Cage. No shot. Now a bad pass. This ball's going to roll out to the near sideline. Does it have enough gas to actually go out of play? It is kept in play. Whistle from the referee. And it's going to be a call that goes against Montez. It keeps the ball with Missouri Baptist, which is massive. With 5 seconds left about on the clock, they can just hang on to it, and they will get the ball to start the fourth quarter, trailing by a goal. So a huge break for Missouri Baptist at the end of the third. And when we come back in the fourth, that's got to be a good finish with the way this game has gone. So do not go anywhere. Marian hanging on to a 1-goal lead, hoping to be celebrating after the next 15 minutes of play here on their home field.
This is Molly. She loves road trips, hikes, her dog Max, and cars that fit her lifestyle, like this cool new ride that she got with help from Indiana Members Credit Union at a great low rate. And for when she's on the go, IMCU makes it easy for her to pay from anywhere thanks to their digital banking. Looks like Molly is really getting the max from her credit union.
Hey, grab me one too.
Seven to 6, Marian leads, just about ready for the fourth quarter. We would like to remind you on a broadcast tonight brought to you by Speedway Subaru, from our team to yours. Good luck tonight from Speedway Subaru. At Speedway Subaru, you'll find the largest Subaru inventory around, all backed by our Speedway Cares lifetime powertrain warranty. Absolutely free. Speedway Subaru, family-owned, Indy-proud, and here when you need us. Visit us on West 16th Street or shop speedwaysubaru.com today. And then also Spot. Today's logistics marketplace is an ever-changing landscape where you can make your mark. As a leading third-party logistics company in North America, Spot gives you the tools to tackle industry challenges for our partners. Here, initiative, drive, and teamwork form the basis for a rewarding, fast-paced career. Visit spotinc.com/careers for more information today. Spot is proud to partner with Marian University. And here we go. Fourth quarter of action. Missouri Baptist will start with the ball, trailing by a goal. We'll see if head coach Max Rule treated that almost like a timeout. And we'll try to draw something up for this offense to potentially have things tied. Sophia Rose is one of two players to have a goal for Missouri Baptist here in the second half. Oldham has the other. Rose, though, the most recent goal scorer. Petchnik pushes it back behind the goal. Now back with Petchnik again up top. It's almost like a point guard in this offense. Ball down here on the turf. Possession, though, kept alive by Missouri Baptist. This time, that may not be the case. Another ball back on the ground. Marian's going to come away with it. Bozeman on the loose ball. Stick check knocks it free and kept in play. Getting there timely is Marissa Oldham, who I believe is going to get credited with a caused turnover and a ground ball. And now we get a stoppage in play. Iskrig was pushing upfield. Green card. It's going to be handed out to Ruby Mason here on a stick check.
Green card assist to Marian's number 7, Ruby Mason.
Ruby Mason's been your most dynamic offensive player there, so a real tough break here for Marian early on in this fourth quarter, with Missouri Baptist starting to get a little bit of momentum here coming from the end of that third quarter.
Yeah, you can see the confidence flowing a little bit more here in this game. They've got some better looks that they put together in the third quarter and what was a really rough second quarter for them, especially clearing the ball, as we saw. But here a good look inside results in a shot that's just off target. It was Taylor who got free in a cut, couldn't quite hang on to the pass. Backup, though, keeps it on this end of the field.
Wonderful effort there from Alexis Taylor with a couple of different Marian defenders around her to pirouette and somehow get a shot off and keep the possession here for the Spartans. But then the visitors give it away right there on a bad pass.
Yeah, Pechnik trying to force the issue inside. Hartman coming away with a loose ball. Marian trying to get the job done on the clear as Pechnik loses her stick. So Hartman just running from one field to the other is going to try to avoid getting pushed out of play. And it's going to be a push call against Kamina Royal. The end result of that, 12:40 left to go in quarter number 4. Ruby Mason jogging out onto the field. So time served for that green card. The most recent one she got is now up as Mason's returns to the offense where she's been so successful today. She's got a hat trick in this one. Could be 4 if not for a goal that was waved off at the end of the first half. Trying to find Mason on the cut that time around. Does not work. O'Leary with a good look inside. Pass just maybe not quite enough on target. And now another player down on the field. Schnefke, who was in a full-on sprint on the clear, got knocked down as Talia Newell was following her. And so Newell is going to have to step out of play. I didn't see the color of card from the official. If
I think
one did come out, where Newell's standing, I mean, that's she's got to be serving a card. I assume it's green.
Yeah, I think they gave her the green variety there for the push with possession.
But she's already got a yellow. It would have been trouble if it was the second one, but look at that. Ella Grace Geed once again in the ride. The physicality to push. I didn't quite see who it was, but the player for the Spartans out of play to force a turnover. And what a response as this ball goes back to O'Leary. You go down a player, you immediately force a turnover. And now you can kill off most of this green card, assuming you hang on to the ball, as this one's going to be chased down by, I believe, Hartman on the far side of the field. So Hartman can breathe a sigh of relief, maybe catch her breath a little bit. As the Knights still up by a goal. Ruby Mason back with the ball behind the cage. Newell jogging back out onto the field, back to even strength. O'Leary trying to find Newell inside. She just lost it off her stick. Ball still up for grabs. And look at the hustle from O'Leary to come away with it. Tiptoed the crease before losing the ball. And back and forth we go here in the 4th. Here come the Spartans.
Livac, the netminder, forcing the turnover there, protecting her crease. Taking a risk there because if O'Leary gets around her, there's nobody home. But the Spartans able to stand tall here. Another opportunity to tie almost 4.5 minutes into this 4th quarter.
Highness Ward will settle things down now after the successful clear. Things getting a little bit nervy here at Marian. Home team hanging on to a 1-goal lead against a ranked opponent. So to work wonders in a tough non-conference schedule for the Knights if they can get the upset here today. They've got the #1 team in the country up next. And this is after last week and a loss against the national runner-up a year ago. And a fortunate break here from Marian as you get an unforced turnover against the Spartans.
Yeah, so here's the 3-game stretch for Marian. Cumberland's last week, as Harrison has mentioned, #2 team in the country now, national runners-up last week. Missouri Baptist, #7 in the country, national quarterfinalist a year ago. And oh, by the way, you get a week to prepare for the #1 team in the country and the reigning national champions in Benedictine, who also are conference members with Missouri Baptist in the Heart of America Athletic Conference. A 3-game stretch that'll make anybody's knees shake.
And then you get WLAC conference play where you start that with 2 teams currently ranked. And who cares about the rankings is what Ella Grace Geed says as she finishes in transition to get the lead back up to 2 for the Knights.
Geed wide open. Hartman feeds her and another one to the top shelf. The Knights have been wearing that out. Geed with 2 upstairs today. And if I'm Marian, I'm putting everything up high the rest of the night. Livac has not done a good job of facing anything upstairs. Bring the heat if you're Geed. Montez can let her rip as well. If I'm the Knights, everything up high for the final 9:26.
8-6 left to play. And as you mentioned, shooting upstairs has been very successful for Marian. As you can tell by the advantage they have on the scoreboard, Spartans need as many draw controls as they can get down the stretch here. With the way this game has gone, it's been very back and forth. We haven't seen a lot of goals. It's opened up in stretches. It's not been a consistent flow of offense. So a 2-goal lead, if you've been watching this whole game, feels like a large lead, even though it is close. So draw controls and quick scores could be huge here for a team that trails by a couple of goals. And a massive draw control win for Pechnik. And a timeout that is called as a result as well. And why don't we step aside, take a bit of a breather ourselves. 9:19 left in the fourth quarter here at the ISC Sports Network. Marian up by a couple.
Timeout on the field by Missouri Baptist.
Pepsi's always had great taste. Today, try great taste with zero sugar. This is the Pepsi with zero compromises. This is Pepsi Zero Sugar.
We jumped in immediately. We take a intro to engineering course.
And they sit there and tell you, we're not going to push you through every single prereq your first 2 years. We're going to let you get hands-on work with engineering right away, because 2 years of a prereq, that's boring.
There's companies always asking for students with shop experience, and the dean will email me and say, hey, they're looking for a guy just like you, which is awesome that the dean knows who a guy like me is.
Broadcast tonight brought to you by Tom O'Brien Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram. If saving money is important to you, visit Tom O'Brien Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram, a proud sponsor of Marian Athletics. Tom O'Brien is Indy's preferred Jeep dealer with 2 locations and the biggest Jeep inventory in Indiana. To show our support, Tom O'Brien will donate $200 to Marian for every car any student, parent, employee, or friend of Marian buys when you mention this promo. Go Knights, and go to Tom O'Brien to see how our family works for you since 1933. 2019 was the year, the last time the Knights beat Missouri Baptist, and Missouri Baptist is trying to come back in this one. They need draw controls to do it. Ricky pointed out to me during the break, they're 5-7 and draw controls here in this second half, but trailing by 2. With the way this game is trended, as you've also mentioned, it's going to be tough to score consecutive goals the amount of time that's left in this one, because no team has scored more than 2 goals back-to-back in this game.
I loved what Coach Storks-Need did during the timeout when we came back from the commercial stoppage. You could see her tell her team to take 2 deep breaths in through your nose, out through your mouth, try to calm the nerves. Knowing you got a 2-goal lead against the 7th-ranked team in the country, really smart job there by the 6th-year head coach.
65 seconds left here, so early in the possession for Missouri Baptist. Pechnik. Taylor coming back out to apply some pressure. They just try to push Pechnik as far away from the goal as they possibly can.
This is where Marian's gotten in trouble before. When they bring the double to Pechnik, it's the rotation on the backside of the zone that's hurt him tonight.
That time it's Morrissey, not quite the backside, but right in front of the crease. Couldn't corral on the catch. Missouri Baptist keeps, and of course it's back with Pechnik, trying to just pull the strings on offense a little bit. She steps away from some pressure and draws a whistle from our officiating crew as well.
There's a delayed flag call because Missouri Baptist still had the advantage offensively. And so you'll bring Pechnik here right to the middle of the 8-meter line.
This Knights defense got to be worn out with how much they've had to chase Pechnik around all night tonight. Huge opportunity here for Pechnik from the 8-meter. Stick check might have taken some heat off the shot, and it was calmly collected by Jones. And on the clear are the Knights, pushing the issue up ahead to Geed. She's got 2 in this game and the most recent goal scorer for Marian. Head up in transition. Missouri Baptist covers up any scoring opportunities well, so the Knights will slow down and a chance to eat some clock here, leading by 2. With about 7.5 to go in regulation.
That save by Jones a lot tougher than what she made it look like because of that weird bounce coming off the check and off the wet turf. It can do that. Ball can almost bounce and almost handcuff the goalie. Really nice job there by Jones to watch that ball into the cross, make the save, and then make a nice strong pass. It's been one of her issues tonight, trying to start those clears. The ball's been kind of slipping out of her stick a little bit. Made a really strong pass to get Marian here to the offensive end.
Dean rolls back to her left, floats a pass inside to Geed, down on the turf and picked up by Iskrig. Empty possession there for Marian. Not a very lengthy one either, as Iskrig running the whole length of the field. Not a chance for a shot. Stick check comes in late to knock the ball on the ground. Knights get it right back. How about that hustle in transition from Marian? It looked like Iskrig was maybe going to have a look at a shot. The defense collapses well, knocks the ball free, and here's Ruby Mason back with it with a brand new shot clock. 6.5 left to play in the fourth quarter now. Number 7 team in the country, trailing by 2 on the road.
I think Iskrig could have let that one go there. She took one too many steps, and that's allowed that Marian defense to collapse on her. The Spartans almost got the ball back, but the Knights turned it the other way with the converted midfielder to a defender in Jada Taylor. But a tough one there for Iskrig. Ran the whole length of the field, thought she was going to put one in. Just didn't let her fly when she had the opportunity. And now Marian with an opportunity to take a 3-goal lead. If they can get it here, to be their biggest of the night.
Dean with just some patience here with 40 on the shot clock now, as you hear the sideline communicate to the players on the field how much time is left in the possession. O'Leary, the freshman, dishes over to Geed.
I would have liked that pass to Montez there, but even better to Colas as she finishes.
Catch and shoot for Colas. Another point for Geed with the assist. And it doesn't get much better than that in the execution department.
They ran Montez in there first. They didn't give it her, even though she had space. Colas comes in and fills the gap, had a defender on her hip, and Delaney Colas puts her home. First 3-goal stretch for a single team tonight, and the first 3-goal lead for either team to boot.
And in a low-scoring game like this one, that 3-goal lead, a huge difference maker on the scoreboard right now. Missouri Baptist going to have to get to work quickly if they want to come back in this one. It's absolutely possible with the nature of lacrosse and how you can stack possessions with draw control wins. Petchnik has been great when it comes to draws so far tonight. They're going to need her to be an absolute all-star here in the final 5.5. Long bounce out well outside the draw circle here as it turns into a 50-50. Marian, I believe, might come away with this. Hartman got the ball. Looked like she was adjusting her face mask as she was trying to scoop it up. The official has a call that goes against the Knights in the process of it all. And that is much needed for Missouri Baptist, who trails by 3. Petchnik has it here up top as her and the Spartans are trying to avoid their first loss of the season and their first loss to this Knights program since 2019 and the 6th meeting all time between these two groups. Pressure comes for Petchnik as she's seen all night. Able to find her open teammate. The ball, though, in and out of Taylor's stick. Baptist will keep. Now Petchnik open on the cut, catch and shoot. Boy, did Missouri Baptist need that one.
Harrison, I don't know what was prettier, the goal or the pass. And an absolute seed fired in from beyond goal line extended. And when you need a goal, Missouri Baptist going to 7 in blue. Their all-star junior, Delaney Petchnik, on a beautiful cut right down Main Street. Drew the defense away. She had a wide-open goal to shoot at. And the Spartans right back into this one off the feed from Terrell.
Petchnik, product out of Florida. 39 points she had a season ago. She's the 4th highest point scorer on her team last year. The 3 players ahead of her all moved on. So she's now the lead dog of the pack of this group. And you see why.
And look at Terrell, drawing the 3 defenders behind goal line extended. How many times today have we talked about the Marian defense when they swarm and send more than one defender to the person with the ball on their stick? There's a Spartan wide open, and more often than not, Missouri Baptist has found that open player. A key misstep there for the Marian defense here late.
Lead shrunk down now to just 2. 4:45 left in the fourth quarter. Petchnik back to work on the draws again. This time she gets the draw control herself. Stick check, though, knocks the ball free. Olivia Dean, questionable coming into this game with a huge cause turnover as she finds Ruby Mason with some room to run and into her attacking zone. We'll see how patient Marian wants to be. 4.5 left in the fourth quarter. Knights with the ball and a 2-goal lead. Rick, how patient would you want to be here if you're Marian? Use the whole shot clock, you think, or just with the 2-goal cushion, would you rather be a little bit more aggressive?
Well, I'm going to cheat a little bit with my answer because we heard the crowd mics picked up the Marian coaching staff telling the team that they wanted him to go at 40. So they're going to burn about 2/3 of this 90-second shot clock off, and they're going to go here in about 10 seconds. That's the right call. You're up by 2. You know the shot clock can burn a minute and a half off if you just sit there and hold on to it. So that's the right move. No reason to take an early possession, throw it away, throw it right at the netminder, and then like a bit
of save.
Incredible save there. But now if you're Marian, you have got to get on the ride here to Livac and make life difficult for her taking that shot. And Missouri Baptist with a little momentum right now. Livac getting hounded behind the goal line.
At Livac now up to 14 saves, I believe, on the night. And they've not been easy saves either. Huge one there to keep this at a 2-goal game. Across midfield goes Alexis Taylor. Rolling away from the pressure as well into the attacking zone for Missouri Baptist. Curious if Max Rule wants to use a timeout here on this possession. Pechnik pressured once more, rolls away from it. And Pechnik gets it right back. Now Taylor. Pechnik trying to weave through some traffic. Marian gives her no alley to run through. And now a pass deflected onto the ground. It's Olivia Dean again. Give her the ground ball too. Outlet pass trying to get things going in transition is Colas, who turns it over. Pass up ahead to Geed, could not be on target. Goert with the ground ball. Now she runs the other direction. We've got 2 minutes and 20 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Spartans in need of a couple of goals late.
A couple timeouts in the back pocket of head coach Max Rule. When does he want to use them here as we're near the 2-minute mark of the fourth?
Push called against Marian. It's Oldham with the ball.
You get a full 90 reset here, but it doesn't really matter. You've got to score quick, down 2, less than 2 to play. You got to go, and you got to go quick.
Great look inside, shot sails just high. I think that was Ward who got free, off ball.
Terrell with another beautiful feed behind goal line extended. Ward just a little bit high.
Oldham, another feed inside. Ward shoots again, and this time she finds the back of the net. Jahines Ward, just 2 goals on the season coming into today, coming up clutch to make it a 1-goal game.
Ward handcuffed there inside the 8-meter fan. The feed in front there, Oldham, and then with a defender right on her hands. Beautiful finish from Jahines Ward, and she's now scored all 3 of her goals in the last 2 games here for the Spartans, and new life here for the number 7 team in the country with just 93 seconds left.
Yeah, the freshman coming up big. 1:33 left in the fourth quarter. And bigger straw control the game, I would say.
I will not argue with you, my friend.
And Pechnik has been the hot hand. She's gotten the better of Ruby Mason here in the second half after a strong second quarter, where the Knights win every single draw control of this game. The second half has leaned back in favor of Missouri Baptist, who got off to a strong start in the first quarter. This is going to involve some circle play, though, as this ball is poked out to the right before going back to the left. Ground ball is tracked down. Alex Dean coming away with it. Mason with the ball. And can the Knights kill this one off with a 1-goal lead?
You can see it there in the upper left-hand corner, about 4 seconds between the game clock and the shot clock. So Missouri Baptist can't sit here on their heels and just try to take the turnover and go. And now the rain's starting to pick up here again with about a minute left to play.
Montez away from some pressure. O'Leary, is she going to push the issue? Engel is shut off nicely by Iskrig defensively. 45 seconds left on the possession. Montez with the ball in her stick. She's had it for most of what Marian hopes is their final possession of the night as Montez avoids a stick check. Now, that's with Ella Grace Geed. As Geed just shielding her stick nicely. These are part of the fundamentals they teach in lacrosse, just how to protect your stick from defenders. As Alexis Taylor trying to get a cause turnover here late, unable to do so. Knights probably be thrilled with a shot clock violation here, up 9-8. Geed back with, or still with the ball. 5 seconds left on the possession. Possession ends. Geed pushes it out to the corner. Shot clock violation. 4.4 left to go.
Now here's the issue, though, Harrison, is that because Geed had the ball at around the 20-yard line, that's where Missouri Baptist can start this possession. If you're Marian, you have wanted her to throw that thing to the corner.
Iskrig, though, not a whole lot of time. Trying to take it herself and can't get a shot off. And let the celebrations begin. First ranked win of the season for Marian. They get the job done in some wet and slippery conditions. It was a bit nervy down the stretch, Rick, but a massive win and non-conference for Marian against the number 7 team in the country. To get the Knights back above 500, they jumped to 2-1 to make up for the loss against Cumberland's. And what a game we had on our hands tonight.
A wonderful, wonderful effort from those young ladies on your screen, the Marian Knights. Fans had a lot to cheer about tonight here from Ascension St. Vincent Field, but a wonderful bounce back as they were able to bounce back from that loss last week at number 2 Cumberland's. When we talked with Allie Storks-Need, she said, hey, this was able to point out what we needed to do and improve on, and the Knights did that in spades tonight. They were so much better in the draw control when it mattered in that second quarter. They were able to hold on and make a couple key plays late on the draw controls, particularly that last one with Alex Dean getting the ground ball, and the transition game was perfect tonight. They didn't push it. They didn't just try to run down the field and take a shot, which is what did them in against the Patriots last week. They were patient. They were calm, cool, and collected, and the star players came out to play tonight. Ruby Mason with a hat trick, Ella Grace Geed with 5 points for the Knights, and when they needed it, they were on point. Big-time win here for the Knights in the third game of the year.
And just a couple of statistics here to run through before we get out of here, Rick. Marian out shooting Missouri Baptist 26-19. Only 3 of their 26 shots were not on goal. And they get this 1-goal win despite a 14-save performance from Livac and Cage for the Spartans. So they were put to the test tonight. These goals did not always come easy. And what a response it was for Marian. And in the process, you mentioned Ella Grace Geed getting 5 points tonight. She needed 1 to break the all-time program record for career points. She got there in the first half, and then her play really took off, I thought, in the second half.
She was incredible, and she was so good, particularly there late. I know I nitpicked there late about getting the shot clock violation on the part of the field that she did, but she was so good, not turning the ball over, keeping possession for well over 30 seconds, knowing that the clock was in their favor, trying to make Missouri Baptist go the length of the field. But Geed was incredible tonight. Olivia Dean, as we mentioned, was questionable to play tonight. She came up with a couple of huge cost turnovers. She had 4 cost turnovers and 3 ground balls tonight, and a lot of happy nights there, particularly with their head coach, Allie Storks-Need, in the middle of it. And now the Knights, it doesn't get any easier for Marian. You played number 2 last week, number 7 tonight, and the reigning, defending, undisputed national champs coming into town next week in Benedictine, who also have to be the number 1 team in the land. So, a heavy stretch. You're 1-1 through this 3-game stretch. You'll try to finish at 2-1 next week with the champs coming into town.
One more time, your final score, 9-8. Whole bunch of smiling Marian Knight faces down there on your screen. I think that's a great way to close this one out, especially for the home supporters who get their first ranked win on the season. One more time, I'm Harrison Silcox. Thank you to Rick Johnston for being up here in the booth with me for a fantastic game for lacrosse, and our whole production crew here with ISC Sports Network that captured the whole thing flawlessly tonight. 9-8, a win for the Marian Knights. You watched it all on the ISC Sports Network.